should we talk about the Circle IPO, which traded like a low market cap shitcoin? Just pumped. It was crazy. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's kind of insane. I think it just tells you everything that you need to know about the appetite out there of investors. And this is we talked about this on a previous podcast. I was trying to explain that there is a whole new class of investor that wants to get access to this market, and we were seeing that in the appetite for these Bitcoin products, these MSTR like competitors. That, hey guys, there are institutional investors out there that have a tremendous appetite in crypto, and they're trying to find all of the right ways to get in. So to me, prior to the Circle IPO, I was pretty damn bullish, because I think that this is just yet another. The way that you can think about it is it's yet another type of product in the crypto world, and there is tremendous demand for products in the crypto world. This product specifically is a stablecoin. Get access to stablecoin revenues. And does it actually have to be a good company? No, it just has to kind of fit a market need for exposure, because people are betting, okay, stablecoins are going to 50x their market cap, in the next 10 years. Time to get on board. I think, however Circle is doing now, they're going to do even better in the future, and that's why it's trading for now at a 500%. Sorry, at 300% up since.
Just like, I think the reason why it did that,
which is just totally insane. I mean, at a 4x right now, I think that they're probably a bit overvalued. They're trading at a 22 billion market cap. Do you know what the revenues are?
The revenues are 1.6 billion in 2024, and their net income is only 18 million. And I'll tell you why. Like, okay, so first of all, I'm not an equity analyst. It's like basically the one asset class I've never traded professionally in my journeyman career. But so take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. I'm sure there's financial analysts out there who are far better than me at picking through this. But like, I think that Circle is kind of a crappy business. Like, those EBITDA margins are tiny. 18 million on a 1.6 billion. It's like basically 1% margins. And you would ask, how is it that like 16 Italian dudes in Lugano can run Tether as like basically the most profitable business per employee in the history of the world? And these Circle guys generate 1% EBITDA margins. Well, Avi, the reason why is that Circle pays most of their money away, in addition to just like SG&A and random employee compensation and whatever else. They pay most of their money away to like their profits away to companies like Coinbase to feature their product prominently, try to get people to own USDC instead of Tether, and basically fight the losing battle against Tether, because Tether dominates this stablecoin space. And the other thing that most people even in crypto don't know, and I know this because I worked at a market maker. I'm under NDA, so I can't describe like the specifics of how this contract worked, but just generally speaking, Circle pays the market making community in general a healthy sum of money for every unit of USDC that a market maker mints in general, or they used to it anyway. I don't know what they do anymore, but like, that's basically a way of incentivizing market makers to mint more USDC, which increases the float, which increases the yield that Circle can collect. And the reason why that's unsustainable is because that USDC that gets minted, it's not getting minted by an end user to stash. It's getting minted by somebody who's just going to like cycle it through, and then it ends up like kind of getting migrated to Tether or something else. And it's not sticky. So that is an expensive, I think, campaign, and it doesn't really work. I think the Coinbase stuff probably works and sticks, but it's a little stickier, but still not sticky enough. And then the other thing is like, rates are about to get cut. As interest rates come down, this revenue is like going to get slashed in a major way. This is not like Apple selling iPhones. This is just hoping that whoever Jerome Powell's successor is who's going to get appointed by Trump, who wants interest rates going to zero, is not going to cut interest rates to zero, which is kind of crazy to me. I don't know. It seems like a terrible company priced by professionals at probably a fair to rich valuation. And then retail degens looking to get exposure to stablecoins just bid it to the moon.
I don't think it's just retail degens. I think it's also the fact that it is people do want exposure. I mean, they want exposure to this narrative, right? And I think we're also going to see this coming out. Probably Ripple's probably going to IPO, and it's probably going to come out an insanely stupid valuation for what it versus what it should be valued at, and it's going to be the same story over and over and over. This does tell me we do have some hype to ride out. That at some point there is going to be a large market correction, probably in these stocks. I'd also probably see a market correction in Robinhood, see a market correction in Coinbase, and the MSTR playbook companies probably have a massive correction at some point. But for now, the appetite is still very clearly there to get access to this stuff. One thing that I do like to do is I'll go on Reddit, and I'll try to get a pulse for the average degen trader on the stock subreddit or Wall Street Bets, and a lot of them what was kind of interesting is a lot of them were talking about how Circle, it's like, oh well, seems like they don't make a lot of money, but BlackRock bought 10%, they took 10% of the IPO, right? And so okay, well if BlackRock really likes it, we got to get in. And so I think it's a combination. It's the degen investors definitely coming on, but it is being BlackRock did actually take 10%, right? So it's like, okay, well, clearly there's some interest from their clients and base there, right? And those people are much. I mean, a substantial proportion are probably degens, but much less likely to be degenerate than compared to your average person on the street, right?
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, BlackRock took it at the IPO price, but BlackRock being BlackRock, it's kind of hard to deploy $11.5 trillion of assets. And I know they're into crypto, so it's kind of like you don't have a lot of options if you're BlackRock. They kind of take they take a ton of every IPO, don't they? I don't know. I'm not an expert, but to be fair to the degens on Wall Street Bets Reddit, it's probably better that BlackRock is in for more than they usually are in this IPO rather than just underallocated, because it shows that BlackRock cares about crypto, that they're picking a winner, or they're at least picking something that's safe from a regulatory perspective, right? They're picking Circle. Maybe Tether is the Cantor Fitzgerald bucket shop coin, and USDC is the white shoe firm coin. Maybe that's how this is going to shake out. So perhaps it's justified. I just still think that Circle is such a terrible company that even if it 10x's from here, I still wouldn't touch it personally, the stock. Nothing said on the 1000X podcast is a recommendation to buy or sell any investments or products. This podcast is for informational purposes only, and the views expressed by anyone on the show are solely their opinions, not financial advice or necessarily the views of Blockworks. Our hosts, guests, and the Blockworks team may hold positions in the company's funds or projects discussed.